So Cooking Connections are back, and this time Matthew and I will be using carrots, potatoes and onions as our key ingredients. So while Matthew is in Detroit, he's going to be making Spanish tortilla using sweet potatoes, and I'm in Kyiv, is going to be using a regular one that we all know, and I'll be making my own version of the old and forgotten Ukrainian dish knish. So while I'm cutting, peeling and boiling this, you Matthew go first and I will be right back. Have fun.
As Olya said, I'm going to be cooking today with sweet potatoes. Now personally, I think anything that you can make with potatoes is even better with sweet potatoes. And I'm going to demonstrate that today with one of my favorite dishes, a Spanish tortilla. But first, I'm going to need more than just this. I'm going to need an onion and an egg. So we're going to start by slicing the onion and then making thin slices out of the sweet potato. I like to slice the onion the classical way, so instead of going across, we're going to make some cuts down the center of the onion, and some nice slices will fall out. They'll be a good size for our tortilla. Now, as for your sweet potato, you want to slice it pretty thin, and just start to cut very thin rounds. And last, I will whisk together 6 to 8 eggs. So now let's cook. The first thing we need to do is to poach the onions and the sweet potatoes in olive oil. We're going to let those onions cook for a little bit. They'll start to change color, they'll start to get softer, then we'll add the sweet potatoes. You can add some salt at this point if you want. You can see they've gone a little bit clearer now. They're a little bit translucent. And they're starting to soften up a little bit. Now it's time to add the sweet potatoes. A lot of this recipe is just waiting. This haircut doesn't look half bad. While this is cooking, you could be making something delicious to go along with it. Green salad perhaps, or Olya told me I have to use carrots in this recipe as well, so I'm going to make a carrot salad. So now the onions are turning a nice golden color. The sweet potatoes are getting soft and just starting to fall apart. Taste one, make sure that they're done, but I think we're ready to move on to the next step. Get a colander and a bowl, and we're going to drain off the olive oil, but save our delicious sweet potatoes and onions, which are going to go into our tortilla. So, once you've drained the olive oil off the onions and potatoes, you're going to put a little bit of it back into the pan. And then add the onions and the sweet potatoes back in. So you want that to form a nice even layer, and you're going to fill up the entire pan. Now we're going to add the eggs. And you're going to let that cook until the bottom has a chance to set, and it's kind of set all the way up around the sides. And then life's going to get interesting. Safety first, always. So you're going to take your plate, put it down on top of your frittata, and then with boldness and quickly, 1, 2, 3, flip.
Hey, do you need some help?
Don't mind a little bit of mess.
Nope, looks like you're fine.
Slide it right back in. Just in the nick of time. It's got some nice color going on here, and really nice and puffy, looks perfect. Once the bottom has had a chance to cook, you're just going to slide it out onto a platter, and it's ready to cut up and serve. And there you have it, sweet potato Spanish tortilla with carrot salad. With that, I'll say bon appetit.
Thank you, Matthew. Enjoy a tortilla and we'll get down to making knish. Okay, so we're gonna be starting with making dough. Originally, you need an yeast dough for this, but I adopted it a bit and I'm using potato-based dough. So it's much quicker and of course you won't mess it up, believe me. So I have mashed potato here ready. So I'm gonna basically divide it. About half will go in the dough and another half will go into the filling. So the dough is quite easy to make. You just take the mashed potatoes and a bit more. Now you will add an egg, one beaten egg, and first you just mix it well. So it is nice and mushy. Here at this point you can add a bit of salt if you are not putting salt while the potato was baking. So, and now we just need to add our flour. And also mix it well, work it well, and then for the dough to be really firm, because we'll be rolling it out. So now it's done. It's nice and tight, not too tight because we have potatoes here. And I'll just leave it to rest while I'm working on the filling. So for the filling we're gonna use the rest of our mashed potato. So we're gonna mix it with onions and carrots, and I pre-cooked them already. I'm pretty much sure you know how to do that. So you would just add your onions and carrots to your mashed potato. And we'll mix it well. We'll add some salt and pepper. But since we're gonna be using brinza cheese, and it's already salty, I'm not putting that much salt.
Delicious! I love brinza cheese.
I'm just gonna put a little bit. And I'm gonna add some black pepper. I like a lot of pepper. So this is the base of the filling. Of course you can add brinza cheese here, and I have a little bit of dill as well. And also I'm like really into corn, so I'm adding corn. But I prefer not mixing everything together, just having the base filling and then having separately brinza cheese and then corn, and I'm gonna show you how I all put it together into quiche. So this is done. Let's make some way for our dough. So now we're gonna put everything together. For this, you take the dough. Well, actually, probably I'm gonna be splitting it into half. So I'm gonna take one half of it. So I'm gonna have two knish. Just sprinkle a bit of flour, place it, also carve it well. I'll take my rolling pin and we'll roll it out. So here it is. Now I would take brinza, mix it well with dill, or if you don't like it, you don't have to add it. Now I'm gonna add a bit of corn and our potato filling. I'll take also a bit more of cheese on the top. And a bit of corn, and we'll just start closing it. And it's ready to be transferred to the frying pan. Make sure when you start frying it, you put it with the side that you were closing. That way it won't split apart, basically. So I'll put this aside and I will work on another one. So while our pan is heating, we'll add some oil. And just make sure that it's all evenly covered here with oil. And it should be hot enough not to stick to the pan. We'll just put it right down. Now we take our first knish and let's wait for it to brown from one side, and then we'll flip it over to the other side. So here it is, ready to be served with sour cream or without. Thanks to my cooking buddy Matthew for showing how to make his favorite Spanish tortilla. Oh, and by the way, Matthew, that haircut looks really good. And you guys take care. We'll be back with more Cooking Connections videos soon. Stay tuned and have a great day.